Hey Liliana, how's it going?
Hi, Farhan. All is good. And how are things on your side?
Things are good. Things are good. It was a nice day today. I was just working, relaxing, pretty fun.
Nice. Are you now in Wisconsin?
Yeah, yeah. Back to Wisconsin. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Nice. And how many classes are you teaching now
So on
per day?
eight, today I taught four classes. So this is my third one. I'll teach another one
Um,
at 4 o'clock. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
Good to see you again.
yeah. Good to see you as well. You know, Liliana, I was actually going to ask you. Um, there were a bunch of folks. I think Murad, you were also in the class in that homophone homonym class.
Yes.
Uh, I made a cheat sheet. I made a like a document that I think summarizes the main ideas from that
Oh,
lesson. So if you guys want, you can send me your email addresses and I can email them to you.
okay.
Um, if you want. I mean, I know people
Uh,
sometimes don't want their email addresses to go out, but
are you in Facebook?
yeah, I'm on Facebook as well. Yeah.
Okay. I added you in Facebook. I saw
Okay.
for you in Facebook and I added. I will add you.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah, it's just my first name, last name. I think I'm the only person in the world with my
Yes,
combination. Yeah.
Farha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and yeah, Murad, same thing goes for you. If you would like, I can send you that cheat sheet, just one sheet document that has all the big ideas from that lesson. So
I think you have Daniel Watson, right? Because I think
I
so.
do. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
if
It's up.
I look for Daniel and then I look for you in Daniel's profile.
Sure. Sounds great. Sounds great. I think that will be very good. That way I can send it out.
Okay, check Daniel what Daniel Colino. Okay.
So how's it going, Murad? Good to see you as well.
Yes, I am not bad.
Good, good, very good.
How are you doing?
Things are good. Yeah, just had a pretty normal day, pretty basic day, nothing new.
كيف
Just
حالك؟
كويس كويس كثير. وانت
كتير.
كثير. Yeah. ازيك انت? That's what they say in Egypt. ازيك انت?
كي داير انت؟
Yeah,
لاباس الحمد لله.
yeah. شكرا جزيلا يا باشا.
لا شكر على
كله
واجب.
تمام، كله كويس يعني.
كويس.
كله تمام. You know, if you go to an Egyptian's house and you eat something and if the food is delicious, I think they say tamam tamam. Like, how was the food? It was,
تمام تمام.
tamam tamam, yeah.
كويس.
كويس كويس. لذيذ يعني لذيذ.
I don't understand any word.
We're speaking Arabic, Liliana, just basic Arabic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that's Arabic, but I don't know Arabic.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. يعني every time yesterday I went to the sidewalk and they told me about يعني that's how they talk.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. يعني
Yeah.
brother يا أخي, you are the bestest person في كل مكان يعني. You are the nicest person.
Who talks in Arabic?
These are folks, older people from Egypt. When they speak English, they have a
older.
very thick accent, and
Yeah.
I spent 4 years of my life listening to these people. So I
Can
know,
you
yeah.
can you recognize which accent is this?
Yeah, go for
Wait.
it, sure.
Okay. Do you speak English?
I don't know what that is now.
Can you please help me do this job? Please?
No, I can't tell that. I can't tell that one. It's not from the Arab world, I don't think.
No.
Yeah. I honestly have no idea.
Farhan,
It is nice.
Uh-huh.
how many
It is
languages?
nice.
Wait, Murad, I'm sorry. Say that one more time. It is what?
Uh,
What type
I
of
think
accent was that?
French.
Oh, the French people actually they speak like that?
With
Well,
how
When
are
they,
with L.
yeah, I thought they speak like ho ho ho. I am from France.
Yeah, how
I'm
are you?
I'm from France.
Yeah, I feel like that's it's interesting. When I hear the folks from France speak in their, I mean, a lot of them speak English very well also, but we're just making fun of them. But no, Liliana, I only speak 4 languages. I know I can understand some Arabic and some Turkish, but really I only speak 4. So it's
Spanish, English, Spanish.
Spanish, English, and then Persian, and also Bengali. So Bengali is what my family speaks, and Persian is I just learned it because it was beautiful.
What is oh,
This one right here. Oh,
belongs this language?
Persian, Persa is Iran, and then Bengali is Bangladesh,
Bangladesh.
and also India, parts of India as well. So, yeah, my family speaks Bengali. That was my first language. But,
Bengali. I
yeah,
another word.
yeah.
So if I speak with you in Spanish, you understood? You can
Yeah,
understand everything?
I think so. I think I can understand most everything in Spanish. I just, depending on the accent, if it's an Argentinian accent, I will have a hard time. But I think from Mexico all the way to Central America, and also Colombia, Peru, because my friends are from Peru. A lot of them are from Peru, so I speak with them in Spanish.
I just know 2 words from Colombia.
What?
Like mamón
Mamon.
and chévere.
And what is the other?
Chévere.
Chévere. Chévere.
Chévere. I don't know what that
Chévere.
means.
Bacano.
Bacano.
That's cool.
Señor?
Is, especially in Medellin, they use this word. Here in Bogota, we always say chévere, and paisas say more bacano.
That's awesome. I know there's so much culture in Central America, Latin America in general, just among the different countries, right? And usually when we learn Spanish in the U.S., we learn a very diluted version. We learn like Mexican Spanish, or we don't investigate the differences between all the different types of Spanish. We just learn the basic kind of normal conversational Spanish, I think with a focus on Mexico.
And which accent do you like? Castilian Spanish or Latin Spanish?
No, I don't like Castellano at all. I love Latin Spanish. I love the Spanish that's spoken in Latin America. Yeah, Castellano is they think of themselves, I think, too highly sometimes. It's a little elite. It's a little too elitist for me.
Than Latins.
Yeah, they speak faster. I like the relaxed version of all languages, you know. Even with like Bengali, my family, I understand Bengali completely, but people in India speak Bengali much more formally. They're not as relaxed as people in Bangladesh. So I like the more relaxed version. I'm more comfortable with that. You know?
Yes, it's easier to learn.
Yeah.
And to listen to when there's a neutral accent.
Absolutely, absolutely. Marcelo, tudo beleza?
Tudo beleza, professor.
How's everything going?
Things are going well.
Great.
And what
great.
about you?
Things are good. Things are good. Very good here.
Great.
Yeah. We were talking about different countries and different accents in different countries.
When I'm gonna see you here.
In Brazil?
Yeah.
I don't know, unfortunately. But you know, I'm going crazy about Brazil, okay? Today and yesterday I was watching all these videos from Porta dos Fundos, this group I think in Brazil on YouTube, if you guys want to look them up later. I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, but Porta dos Fundos is how I pronounce it in my Spanish accent.
Yeah.
And they're very funny. Some of their videos have subtitles, others don't. But it's an amazing commentary on Brazilian society. I think the young people are making these videos, and it's really exciting to watch how Brazil is getting ready to host the world, you know, in the next year and you know 2 years from
The
now.
World Cup, yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be really fun. And today I actually signed on an online course to learn about the history and culture of Brazil.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm getting crazy. Maybe I'll just when I get crazy about a country, I usually visit like within a year of becoming crazy.
Great. I
Yeah.
hope to see you.
Absolutely. No, I love the culture, honestly. Like, but when I became crazy with the culture of Iran, I started learning that language, and you know, actually was able to finish learning it. And now maybe Portuguese is my next
Language.
yeah, my next language. Yeah, we'll see.
Portuguese is beautiful. I love Portuguese.
I really like the sound. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's difficult to pronounce, but I think once you learn the sound of the language, it's very beautiful.
Yes.
Pronounce difficult is English. English is difficult to pronounce.
I guess that's true. That's true. English isn't easy either. Yeah.
Marcelo, now I am learning Portuguese.
Você está estudando português, muito bem.
How can I say? Okay. Como você está? Eu sou solteira.
Você é solteira?
No, I'm learning.
Tá.
Yes, I'm single. I'm single. And eu sou graduada em interior design. How can I say in Portuguese?
Design de interiores.
Design de interiores.
Yeah. Very well.
That's great. No, I think
That's great.
I really love it. I really love it when I hear folks speaking Portuguese, even if they're yelling at each other. It's like French, you know. French sounds very beautiful. Even if people are screaming at each other, it doesn't sound like a bad.
No, for me, Portuguese and French, they speak like they are singing.
Yeah.
For me, are the most melodious. How can I say that?
Melodious. Melodious.
Melodious languages, Portuguese and French. And after these two languages, Italian.
Yeah, Italian's really beautiful also.
Let me make you a question, teacher.
Yeah.
About the American people.
Sure.
I've heard that American people don't like to learn new languages. Is it true or false? For instance, they don't like to learn Portuguese, because when I come across with American people here in Brazil, an American person here, they don't know to say anything in Portuguese. You know, they don't care. They don't.
Yeah, you know, it's a great question, Marcelo. Honestly, I can only speak for the young people, I think. In terms of society, a lot of older generation Americans, people who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s, they are the lost generation. They grew up during the Cold War. Everything was against Russia, against communism. They didn't grow up in the age of globalization, in the age of the internet, like we are. Like my generation, I think people born after 1980, you know, in their 30s or in their 20s, this is the new generation. So we are a lot of young people in America. A ton of young people speak another language. Definitely Spanish, though, Marcelo, is more popular than Portuguese. It's difficult to find Americans who are interested in Portuguese specifically, right? But in terms of reaching that understanding of another culture and another language, it is something that is growing, definitely growing. When I was in elementary school, this is in 1996, 1995, 1997, that era, that was the first, public schools in the United States were beginning foreign language programs in those years, right? So anybody who had graduated high school, somebody who was 18, 19, 16, from 16 to 19 in 1998, right? The kids from maybe the early 80s, right? Those kids are still not as worldly, as internationally inclined as these other people are, right? The post 2000 generation, my generation definitely, people born 1989 onwards, very, very open. But Americans are notorious for not doing their research before they travel. Okay, Americans don't know. They know very little when they travel. They expect when they go to a country that people there will speak English, and they don't need to. And they don't need to learn another language. Yeah, that I agree with you 100%. The young people, yeah, they go to other countries. Maybe they go on internships, on trips, but they don't. And if they know the language, then they really try. But tourists are notorious. Maybe they have a book. They have a small book. Hola, me llamo Christine. Puedes darme una cerveza? That's how they're going to talk. Because
yes, it is true.
They literally. And one thing that really surprises me, guys, is pronunciation comes so difficult to the average American, right? Like, if you study a language, at least try to pronounce it like puedes, not puedes,
You have a good pronunciation. Your Spanish is quite well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because of my teachers, right? My teachers really, they really focused on the pronunciation aspect of it, and it worked well. But if you are learning from a book and you have no passion to actually learn the language, you are just, you sound like a fool, if you're in another country. So that's all I can say about that. But good question, though, Marcelo. I'm glad you are noticing Americans in Brazil. At least we are hopefully not embarrassing ourselves in your country.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Claudio, todo beleza?
Beleza, tudo bem.
Nice.
How are you, Farhan?
Good to see you.
I'm doing great.
Nice, awesome. And
Hi,
Sosa,
everyone.
how's...
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Everyone to my family. Yes.
Okay, great.
Nice to see you guys.
Nice to see you too.
I love our class, guys. This like late night class for me is great because I see all of you guys every night. So, and Sosa, welcome. How's everything going?
Good. I just woke up.
Nice. Good morning. So, okay, guys, let's get started then. We have about 40 minutes, and I want to get to the verbs that we're going to be looking at today. So the grammar lesson that we are going to be looking at today is the difference between the verbs do and make, right? So I'm not sure about Portuguese, but in Spanish, for example, Liliana, we see el verbo hacer for both of them, right? To do and to make, right? So this is something that may be a little bit of a surprise to Spanish speakers, maybe also for Portuguese, but we actually have different rules in terms of when we use do and make in English, right? So the first example, we're going to look at the verb do, right? When we use do, we are talking about work, jobs, tasks, right? Think of things that you need to finish, that you need to complete, that you need to accomplish, right? If those verbs, if those tasks fall under, if those tasks are things you have to accomplish, things that you have to finish, then we can use the verb do, right? So for example, has she done her homework, right? You can think of it as do your homework, right? People, maybe teachers and parents, say this all the time to their kids, do your homework, right? Should we do our chores, right? So chores are something that just, similar to homework, they are tasks that, children do or people have to get done within a certain amount of time, right? I have to do my chores. I have to do my duty, right? If I am working somewhere, it's my duty to complete my job, right? I have to do my duty. I have to perform my duty, right? So for these types of examples, to do a job, to do the housework, to do your chores, right? And really, any time we talk about a general activity that we need to accomplish, we can use the verb do, right? Anytime we make a general reference to a task that needs to be completed, something that needs to be accomplished. So when I think of it in terms of if I was learning this lesson, I would think of it as if you're in doubt between do and make, do is probably the better option, right? Because we do use do more specifically, we do use do more generally than we use make. So if you're unsure, then you can go with do, and you're probably going to be okay, right? So other examples, right? So what are some other examples that we see of this happening, right? So women, when they go to like a beauty salon, right? They say, I'm going to get my hair done. Somebody's going to do my hair, right? Somebody's going to comb their hair, brush their hair, whatever, right? So do is it's a very general verb, right? Do the dishes. Has somebody done the dishes? Has somebody cleaned the dishes after dinner, right? And even in a more general example, if you're talking about, cleaning something up, like I will do the kitchen if you do the living room, right? In that sense, it means if you're cleaning something up, right? So I'll clean up the kitchen if you clean up the living room, right? Or for example, people say, many other types of examples, like I'll do the walls if you do the floor. Maybe they're talking about painting something in their house. I'll do the walls if you do the floor, right? So many examples. Yeah, go ahead, Claudio.
Do you use do to talk about party? For instance, I will do a party. I will do a party, or I will make a party.
So actually, in that example, we use a specific type of verb in conversational English for party. We actually use throw. I will throw a party.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually different. You can say I will throw a party. I will host a party. Host is more formal, but if you are generally talking about a party, then you would throw a party, right?
Oh,
So it's a little bit different situation. But good question.
Okay.
Any questions, guys, about the use of do? When do we use do generally?
Yes, it's ready to tell you a question. If I am trying to organize a welcome party to someone, I say the same. I'll do.
If you're organizing a welcome party for somebody?
Yes, I'll do or I'll make.
So it's a similar situation, right? So how would you would probably say something like, I will throw a welcome party for my friend.
The same. We use the same. Or I host a welcome
Or
party.
I will host a party. Yeah. Host is much more formal. Throw is very conversational. Like, I will throw a party for my friend.
For example, I can say I organize or I prepare or not.
You can definitely say organize. Yeah. I will organize a party. Yeah, that also works. That's also very formal, right? I will organize a party. I will host a party. I will arrange. Arrange actually doesn't work that well. I will host a party or organize a party. Yeah, those are good.
But not prepare, never.
No, prepare, it sounds a little odd because prepare we use more for food, or if you're maybe preparing yourself for something.
Okay.
Farham, I could say I will do a lunch.
I will do a lunch, like in the sense of a party, or just in the sense of.
No, for instance, if I will get a lunch in a restaurant or in my lunchtime, I could say, oh, I will do a lunch.
So it's actually it's actually better to say, Claudio, I will have lunch.
I'll have lunch. Okay,
yeah, so we have very specific types of these phrases in English, which makes it really confusing. But yeah, for some of these things, we don't use do or make. We use neither do nor make. They have specific verbs, yeah.
Okay, because it seems that do is for movement of when I am in movement. Someday I heard something that which looks like it that do is a verb to describe a movement. So I will do my homework. I will do the dishes. It's correct.
Yeah, those are both correct, right? So I think about it this way, Claudio. I like your idea of thinking about movement, right? If you are actually taking part in completing an action, if you are actively doing something, right? Like let's say you are actively cleaning something, you know, making some, or no, actually we can't use make. Cleaning something, you know, perhaps like preparing something, like I will do my homework, or finishing something. Then we can use do much more appropriately than using make, right? It's all about performing an action. So if you are in the process of performing an action, besides these specific cases, right? So for example, if you're having lunch, you're just really eating. You're in one place, right? You're not really moving around too much. If you want to use that idea of movement, right? When you're having lunch, you're not really moving around. When you're at a party or when you're throwing a party, you're not really moving around. You're just kind of, I guess, organizing it. Yeah.
Could I say I will do a jogging?
I will. Oh man, you guys are coming up with great examples, right? So when we already have a verb, right? Like jogging is a verb already. You can just say I will jog, right? Or we can say I will go jogging.
But for example, I can say, I always say I do Pilates, no? I do yoga.
Yeah, perfect. So these examples we can use do. I do yoga. I do Pilates. I do aerobics.
Yeah, martial arts, no?
I do martial arts. Yeah. So see, that's what's weird with English, right? Because we have so many specialized phrasal verbs that come with other verbs or other words prepackaged, right? So for example, I will go running. I will go swimming. I will go walking. I will go jogging. For all of those exercising things, we can use go, right? I will go biking, right? But then for some of these non-movement exercises, like yoga is pretty much sedentary. You stay in one place, right? For those exercises, we use do. So honestly, Claudio, it's probably not a good idea to think of it in terms of movement because you might get confused.
Yes,
right?
I'm saying it.
Yeah, I would say just when you're using if you're talking about a sentence that already has a verb like jogging, you can just say I will jog, right? But if you want to add another verb in front of it, then you can say something like I will go jogging. That's going to be a little bit better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Wait, Marcelo, what'd you say?
Just great.
Oh, okay, great, fantastic. Okay, you guys liked it. Good. So now we have do. So can you guys each give me a sentence with do? Let's start with so on the far right, and we'll work our way left. So.
I'll do my laundry after the class.
I'll do my laundry after this class. Fantastic. Murad.
The homework hasn't been done.
The homework hasn't been done, right? Fantastic. So somebody didn't do their homework, right? Great. Marcelo.
I will do my bed before I get out.
I will do my bed. This is another interesting case. Marcelo. I will make my bed. Yeah,
right.
I won't. So you need to ask the crazy English people from 300 years ago.
Why?
I know there are so many exceptions, right? You guys are extremely good at picking specific scenarios, right? And for many of these specific scenarios, making my bed, going on a walk, going on a jog, or all these other things we saw, having lunch, right? Throwing a party. These all have their own phrases in English, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit difficult. But making the bed. Can you think of another one, maybe, Marcelo, that would work? Just guess if you think one is going to be good and with do.
I will make my homework tomorrow.
Well, we're talking do, right?
Okay, I will do my homework tomorrow.
I'll do my homework tomorrow, right? Fantastic. Yeah, we actually can't use make with homework, and we will find out in a few minutes why, right? But I will do my homework tomorrow works perfectly, right? Liliana.
Just do it.
Just do it. Fantastic. Just do it, right? See how general that is, right? Somebody refuses to do something. Somebody refuses to perform an action. What is the response in English? Just do it, right? Or just get it done, right? We say that we hear that a lot in common conversation. Just do it. Just get it done. Just finish this, right? I don't want to hear any more excuses, right? Just get it done. Good job. And last but not least, Claudio.
She have done all she want to go to New York.
She had done all she wanted to get done. I guess
Makes
so.
sense.
So in the phrase you have it, you used a past perfect, right? So she had done all that she wanted to go to New York is what you said, I think, right?
Yes.
So this one is, there are one thing missing here. So she had done all that she wanted to get done to go to New York would be a little bit better, right? So she had done all that she wanted to get done to go to New York. I know this is a very long sentence. I'm going to try to see if I can simplify this a little bit, Claudia. So she had done all she wanted to get done to get to New York, to go to New York. I think that is the simplest form of that sentence, Claudio. Because we're talking about like the past perfect in combination with something like an infinitive, to get done, right? To finish. Yeah, that one's a little bit complicated, Claudio. Can you think of an easier example, maybe?
Yes.
It was a good sentence. It was a good sentence, but I had to add some stuff to it. Yeah.
Okay. While she does the dishes and he is doing nothing.
Fantastic. While she does the dishes, he is doing nothing, right? Sounds like a typical household, right? The wife does all the work, the husband just doesn't do anything. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
I know this situation.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Good. Okay. So she does the dishes while he does nothing, right? Fantastic. Now, when do we use make, right? So make is a verb in English that we use specifically, much more specific than do. We use make when we are producing something. We are creating. Yeah, go ahead, Marcelo. Yeah.
If I say everything I make it for you, or everything I do it for you.
The second one is better. Second one is better. Do is better. Yeah, because it's so general, right? Everything I do for you, right? So that's something the husband needs to tell the wife when the wife is finished doing the dishes.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's not doing anything, right? So yeah, everything I do for you. It's much more general, right? Much more general, and that's the better option. Make, as we will see, is a little bit more specific, right? So make we use when we are talking about specifically constructing or making something, or creating something from scratch that wasn't there before, right? You're creating something new. You're constructing something new.
So I will make a meal.
I'll make
the meal. I will make the dinner.
I'll make the what new?
The meal, the food.
I'll make the meal, right? I'll make a meal. That works perfectly, right? I will make a meal, right? I will make a meal, right? I will make lunch, or I will make dinner, right? These are all good examples, right? I will make a meal, I'll make lunch, I'll make dinner, right? So it's really when we are creating something new that wasn't there before, or you're combining, you're building, you're designing, right? Those are the examples we use make. So
I will make a box to put the gifts inside it.
Fantastic.
I make a box to put the gift inside it.
Exactly. I will make a box to put the gifts inside it, right? we use made when we are or make when we are talking about the origin of products, right? So anytime you look at something like a product, it probably says made in China, right? So when we are talking about the origin of something, we use make, right? So this table is made from wood or made of wood. This table is
Right. I got you. I got you.
yeah. So this table is made of wood. You can also say if somebody is producing an action or a reaction, right? So she made me angry, right? Like maybe you had a fight with somebody, she made me angry, right? Not she, yeah, you don't want to use the other example. She made me angry,
She
right?
doing me angry. She didn't just kidding.
No, we don't want to use that. We don't want to use that, yeah. So she made me angry, right? She made me upset. This makes me upset, right? Emotions, things that change your emotions, right? This project makes me upset, right?
Okay.
So those are the examples that we can use also. And then we can also use certain decisions. That when we use the word decision, we always use make a decision, right? I will make a decision. Or, for example, Liliana, you were talking earlier about the party and that stuff, right? I will make preparations. Or I will make arrangements for the party.
Okay.
So see, that's where there's a difference, right? I will make arrangements versus I will throw the party. Throwing the party is the act of hosting the party, right? Making arrangements or making preparations are the things that you do before. Maybe you send out the invitations, you write the letters, you contact the people, right? All that kind of stuff. So that's making preparations, right?
Okay.
So for those kinds of things, we use the verb make.
Teacher, there are an exception when you talk about the phrasal verbs using making.
Mm-hmm. There are exceptions, right? So we look at verbs like, I mean, let's see, it's always hard to think of an exception until it's presented, right? For example, if you are, so for the example we saw before was like someone makes me angry, right? That is kind of an exception where we're using emotions, right? You have to always use make, or decisions we always use make, right?
Right.
I think when we go through and ask when each person makes their sentence, I'm pretty sure we'll come up with some exceptions because you guys are really good at finding that stuff, right? And then another thing too is when we are talking about speaking or about sounds, we also use make, right? They are making so much noise upstairs, right? You make noise, right? You make sounds, right? When we're talking about speaking, right? It's like Obama made a speech, right? You can also say Obama gave a speech or Obama delivered a speech, but we can also say he made a speech, right? So speaking and sounds, food, like I will make lunch, I will make dinner, as well as decisions, I made my decision, right? These are all specific types of examples in which we use make and we don't use do.
I could use could I use make to talk about social things, for instance, peace and gossip, and for example, she was making gossip. The Brazil make peace in that region. It's correct.
You can. I think it's okay to say that they are making gossip, but it's actually just easier, Claudia, to just say that they are gossiping, right?
They are gossiping.
They are
Okay.
gossiping because you already have the verb, right? So we don't want to make the sentence have two verbs if we don't need two verbs, right? You can
Oh,
just say
yes.
they're gossiping, right? Make, see, like the big thing about these verbs, guys, do and make, right? We don't want to burden the sentence with too many verbs, right? These verbs really should be the only verbs we see in the sentences, right? It's rare that we use make with another verb immediately after, or do with another verb immediately after, right? They are kind of, they can stand alone. These verbs can stand alone and they can do a lot just by being the only verbs in their sentences, right? So we don't want to over put too many verbs into each of these sentences because then it gets a little crazy. Right?
Okay. How about peace? Peace.
Making peace, yes, exactly.
Making peace.
Yes, yes, yes. Making war, making peace. Those are two. So, Marcelo, these are two exceptions, right? Making war and making peace, right? We use the verb make when it comes to these two things. Right?
Okay.
There are a few other
And
examples. Yeah. Go ahead, Marcelo.
I need to make a phone call for
Yes.
instance.
Yes.
Is it right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I need to make a phone call, right? That is 100% correct as well. So for these certain situations, we use make, right? Okay, let's start from the left then. Claudio, could you give me a sentence with make?
Oh, yes. And I need to make friends.
I need to make friends. Okay, fantastic, right?
No, I have a lot of friends, but I would like to know about friends.
Great, great. You can always make more friends, right?
Yeah, I like to make friends.
Fantastic. This is another example, guys, making friends, right? This is something we definitely use the verb make for, right? Liliana.
Okay. Let me think. I will make a cake for dinner.
Fantastic. I will make a cake for dinner, or maybe for dessert, right?
For dessert.
For dessert, yeah. I will make a cake, right? Fantastic. So you're creating something? Absolutely. And we're talking about food, we can use make, right? Marcelo, let's go to you.
The kids always make faces at their parents.
Fantastic. The kids always make faces at their parents. What does it mean to make a face? What does that mean? It's when kids do this, right?
Gestures?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they do that stuff, right? When they're teasing each other, the nah, 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 right? That's making faces, right? That's what they do, right? The kids always make faces at their parents, right? Or at their friends or whatever when they want to mess around, right? So good. That's another great example, right? And Murad, next up.
I can make a living.
I can make a living, right? I can make a living. That's another great example, right? We always say make and then a living, right? How do you make a living, right? Yeah.
Could you do me a favor, or could you make me a favor?
Great question. Could you do me a favor?
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Could you do me a favor? See, this is why you guys are so good at finding this stuff, because I would never have thought of could you do me a favor, right? But there are so many of these specific phrases in English that we use do and make for, right? Make a bed, do a favor, right? Make a living. Make a living is what you do for your job, right? So I make a living by building, I don't know, furniture, right? Maybe I'm a carpenter. I make a living by building furniture, right? Last but not least, Soso, could you give us a sentence with make?
It makes sense.
It makes sense, right? Another one of these phrases that we see in English so often, right? I always ask you guys, does it make sense, right? And that's a way for us to ask, did you guys understand, right? Does it make sense?
Paul, I made a promise to my daughter to never stop loving her.
Fantastic. I made a promise to my daughter that I will never stop loving her, right?
Yeah.
So when you make a promise, another example of make.
I make an offer.
Make an offer. Wow, you guys are just on fire today. Make an offer, make a promise, right? All the different types. Make a wish.
Make a wish.
Right? Make a wish. So like kids, before they're about to blow out their birthday candles, parents tell them, make a wish, right? Make a wish before you blow out your candles, right? So it's very, very common, guys. These verbs come up a lot, right? I would say the best strategy, honestly, is when you are learning these phrases for the first time. Just make a list. Make a list. Haha, got you guys, right? Make a list. Yeah.
How about make a day? To make my day better or do my day better?
Make my day. Absolutely.
Make my day.
Absolutely. This class just made my day, right? Like
Uh,
you loved it so much. It was the best thing about your day, right?
You
Make a list,
always
make a day.
say it.
Yeah, right? So there's so many different ways. If you guys make a list, right? If you guys make a list of the different types of phrases that we use do and we use make, right? I'm sure there are also websites online that will be very helpful. Maybe they give a list already. That is the best way to learn the differences, right? Some of this comes down to memorization, honestly. Some of it comes down to memorization because if you're looking at two verbs and they're both about creating something, right? Like do, you can also create stuff from making do, right? And also you can make stuff from if you're creating stuff, right? We looked at a lot of the general examples, but there are always many more specific ones. So when you run across one, when you find one that is different for you, I would say just keep a list of those special cases, and I think that's a good way to at least understand some of these differences.
But if you change the rules, you know, you
Yeah.
use, for instance, you use make where you have to use uh, do, they will understand what you mean. American people.
Yeah, people will definitely understand. People will definitely understand. It's going to sound unusual, right? That's the only thing. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's not going to be something. If you say like, I will do a list or I will make a list, right? I mean, honestly, the best strategy. I said earlier in the class, if you don't know, then use do. That might not always be the best solution, right? If the best solution is if you know a verb that is very specific, just use that verb, right? Don't think of do or make if you can use another verb, right? So like when we heard from Claudio, I will, the women are gossiping, right? That's a perfectly fine sentence, right? Don't worry about, is it do gossip or make gossip, right? Honestly, it doesn't matter. You already have another verb there, just use that verb, right? That way you're not going to be confused and the meaning will stay the same, right?
Okay.
But if it comes down to two and the only choices are do and make, then if you have to choose one, I would choose do.
Do?
Yeah, I would choose
Okay.
do because it's much more general.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So guys, any questions on this stuff? I want to just hit the article a little bit before we.
No question.
Okay. Everything makes sense?
No more question for her.
Already.
Yeah.
Everything makes
It's
sense.
clear.
Exactly.
It's clear.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so let's get started, guys, on our article. So today's article is kind of funny. I like to make fun of the North Korean leader. He is a funny guy, which is why I like making fun of him, right? See how many times I'm saying making fun of somebody. That's another example, right?
Yes.
I'm making fun of somebody. I'm joking about somebody, right? Making fun. So making faces, making fun, right? Both of them are very similar. So this article is about his fuzzy legs, and we don't really know what that means until we read the article. But what is fuzzy? What does fuzzy mean? Do you guys know it's an adjective, right? Fuzzy is when you have something that isn't clear. That, for example, you look at a photo and it doesn't look clear. It looks like maybe the lines are not clear and things like that, right? So it's something that's not clear. In the case of photographs, we use fuzzy a lot, right? If something isn't a clear image, then we use fuzzy image. We say fuzzy image instead. So let's take a look, guys, at this article. It says, altered images, questions over Kim Jong-un's fuzzy legs, right? So look at this picture, guys. This guy is the leader of North Korea, right? These are all other people. These are all other people. Based on what experts have said, this picture looks like they just put this guy in the middle of this picture. It doesn't look natural, right?
Yeah.
And the way they found out is they looked at his legs and they say that this area right here, the outline, the border of the leg is fuzzy, right? It's not clear like it should be if you were actually standing there, right? So let's read about this a little bit. At first glance, there's nothing remarkable about this photo of Kim Jong-un touring the site of a children's hospital. But the image, released by Pyongyang's official news agency, KCNA, has come under scrutiny from web users who accuse the secretive state of digitally inserting Kim and his Workers' Party comrades into the shot. So, actually, guys, I made a mistake. They are saying every one of these guys was put into this picture in a fake way, right? Not just the leader. They're saying this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. All these guys are in the image fake, right? And the guy says, "Did you look at the shadows and the lighting?" Asks Brian Ashcraft, editor of the gaming website Kotaku. The figures appear to be superimposed, right? That these images are superimposed on this background, right? The figures appear superimposed. Zooming in on parts of the photograph in a post entitled "North Korea Still Sucks at Photoshop," he notices fuzziness around the legs and floaty feet. So see how these feet look like they're floating?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like they're not on the surface, they're not on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
As well as odd shadows around the hands. So shadows, like see this shadow right here, guys? I don't even know where that shadow is coming from, right? And maybe around the hands, different things, like seems like there's maybe trees in the background or something, you know, shadows from that, right? So the photo was one of a series showing Kim inspecting the soon-to-be completed pediatric center, and to the untutored eye, they all seem to have similar qualities. However, many of those who commented on the story called into question whether the image was doctored, saying it was simply an effect of the flash. One wrote, "I'm a photographer, and the first thing I thought was a reflector or single light point above the lens, blah, 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 blah." Okay, no one cares. So this guy is saying that he doesn't think it was a bad image, right? But sometimes we're a little suspicious, right? This picture also looks kind of fake. So it's not the first time Pyongyang's official photos have been called into question. In March, amid heightened tensions in the region over North Korea's nuclear tests, KCNA released a photograph it claimed showed troops disembarking from a hovercraft while taking part in military exercises. But so a hovercraft is a very advanced type of aircraft, which I don't think North Korea has. But they had a picture that showed North Korean troops leaving a hovercraft, and the hovercraft. This was proven to be a fake photo, right? So North Korea has, I guess, this tradition of making fake photos and publishing fake photos. Not exactly sure why they do that, but I thought it was interesting because maybe real governments wouldn't want to do something like that. What do you guys think? I mean, do you guys think that this is a fake photo from what we see?
Bizarre fake photo.
It looked like fake.
Yeah.
You guys all agree? Okay, so.
And bad make or bad one? Bad make.
Yeah, they made a bad. They faked it very poorly, right? They did a poor job.
It was made by an intern.
Exactly, right? They didn't have someone advanced to do it. They just had an intern do this, right? And it's true. I mean, what are they gaining by showing these photos? That if as soon as they're released, everyone in the world just laughs at them, right? What are they gaining from doing this? What do you guys think? Is it a psychological thing? Is it propaganda? I mean,
propaganda.
Propaganda.
Yes, to make people believe in them or to support them, to vote for them.
Fantastic. To make people believe, to make something believable, to make someone believe something. Fantastic. Another way that we can use make, right? So great job, great job. Gold star for you, Liliana. Gold star.
I don't know what the reason to do these ridiculous photos. It's the only reason that I think that it could not be fake, because it's a strange photo in an apartment and in a construction. So I don't know why the reason they are doing it, but that photo photos are made by an
amateur.
Amateur. Yeah.
Amateur.
Amateur. Yes.
Yeah. Even though there's no C or H in this, we pronounce it amateur.
Amateur. Yes, amateur.
Yeah, it's crazy. English is crazy, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we do have those examples. Go ahead, Liliana. Yeah.
No, I always say that sometimes English makes me crazy.
It does. Trust me. It makes me crazy too.
Me too.
Murad, what's your reaction? You've been kind of quiet. Do you think they're real or fake?
It's obviously fake.
It's obviously fake. Okay. So why do you think they did this? Do you agree with the rest of the guys about propaganda and stuff like that?
Maybe they did it just for fun.
Yeah. You know what was really funny was North Korea, I think Claudio, I think they use interns for everything, not just for photos, right? Because there was an article maybe a few months ago or a few years ago. There is a satirical newspaper in the U.S., right? Satirical meaning that it's satire, right? So satire is when you have jokes and things like that, and satirical is the adjective, right? So there was a satirical newspaper. Yeah, there was a satirical newspaper article that said Kim Jong-un, the same guy, has been voted the world's most handsome leader, or something like that, right? It was from a satirical newspaper, but North Korea published this article in their newspapers thinking it was true. You know? So they're reporting on jokes, and then when they realized it was a joke, I think the person who published it was probably killed. Right?
Oh.
I mean, it's...
Yes. We are laughing, but it's sad because I wonder if any people of that country really believe that he is an handsome government. Politicians by the word. It's ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous, really.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I mean, I don't know what they believe, honestly. I think they live in such a closed society that they don't know anything about the outside world, right?
Yes, of course. Yes, I agree.
It's very difficult for them. But I don't know. I find it funny that this guy is just... How can he still continue to control this country? Like, does nobody there have any sense, I guess? I shouldn't say that. I mean, it's owned by a military. The country is run by the military, so I'm not in that situation, so I can't say. But it must not be easy for them. You know. So guys, we talked and laughed a lot. I don't know. We didn't have too much time for asking questions about this article, but when we any questions or concerns you guys had about the overall theme of the lesson, or the make versus do, or some of these other questions that we saw from this article or from this lesson?
Only has an untutored eye. What does it mean?
To the untutored eye, right? So untutored is just saying like tutored, something that's tutored is something that's learned, right? Right. So it's the unlearned eye. So an eye that can't tell the difference between a fake photo and a real photo. So somebody who's not an expert in understanding photography. Yeah.
For him, I understand this lesson. Maybe I will not make confusion again. Confusion?
Maybe I will not make... You should... maybe I will not be confused again.
Oh, okay. I will not be confused again.
Fantastic. Great. Maybe I will not be confused again. All right, guys. What about the rest of you guys? Any other questions?
Let the teacher confused.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So you can't say it that way, right? So Marcelo is correct, right? You made the teacher or you made somebody confused, right? Because this is that emotion or that action process, right? So I made someone sad, I made someone angry, I made somebody confused, right? You can also say, so Claudio, I made myself confused.
Oh, okay, okay.
If you use the reflexive, yeah, you can use it that way, right?
When I say I will make confusion, I'm saying that I will create confusion in any place or any situation.
Yes. So using create is much better, or using, for example, create I think is a good way to think about it that way. But it's better to just say that I will not be confused next time, right? I will not be confused. Because confusion is the noun, right? So you want to use a verb in that example if you can, right? So be confused is a little bit better than making confusion. Yeah.
Okay, I made myself confused.
Can I say make an appointment?
Yeah, make an appointment, right? Make an appointment. That also works very well, right? That's another example of make. So make an appointment. Yeah, that works perfectly. Make a dinner reservation. Make a reservation. Right. Similar idea. So if you want to go on vacation, first make a reservation. Right. All right, guys. Well, I have another class starting now. If you guys want to continue with this conversation, I'm sure we can continue in that class also, because I like to start off that way. But yeah, okay, guys.
Bye.
Absolutely, guys. Take care. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. What is the nicest person?
Who talks in Arabic?
These are folks, older people from Egypt. When they speak English, they have a very thick accent, and I spent 4 years of my life listening to these people. So
Can you recognize which accent is this?
Yeah, go for it, sure.
Okay. Do you speak English?
I don't know what that is now.
Can you please help me do this job? Please?
No, I can't tell that. I can't tell that one. It's not from the Arab world, I don't think.
No.
Yeah. I honestly have no idea.
It is nice.
How many
languages? It is nice.
Wait, Murad, I'm sorry. Say that one more time. It is what? What type of accent was that?
French.
Oh, the French people actually they speak like that?
Well,
how are you? With F.
Yeah, I thought they speak like ho ho ho. I am from France.
Yeah,
I'm from France.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting. When I hear the folks from France speak in their, I mean, a lot of them speak English very well also, but we're just making fun of them. But no, Liliana, I only speak 4 languages. I know I can understand some Arabic and some Turkish, but really I only speak 4. So it's
Spanish, English,
Spanish, English, and then Persian, and also Bengali. So Bengali is what my family speaks, and Persian is I just learned it because it was beautiful.
What is
this one right here? Oh.
Belongs this language?
Persian, Persa is Iran, and then Bengali is Bangladesh, and also India, parts of India as well. So, yeah, my family speaks Bengali. That was my first language.
Bengali.
Yeah. I think I'm the only person in the world with my combination. Yeah. So, and yeah, Murad, same thing goes for you. If you would like, I can send you that cheat sheet, just 1 sheet document that has all the big ideas from that lesson. So
I think you have Daniel Watson, right? Because
I do. Yep.
Okay, I look for Daniel, and then I look for you in Daniel's profile.
Sure, sounds great. I think that will be very good. That way I can send it out.
Okay, check Daniel Colino. Okay.
So how's it going, Murad? Good to see you as well.
Yes, I am not bad.
Good, very good.
How are you doing?
Things are good. Yeah. Just had a pretty normal day, pretty basic day. Nothing new.
كيف حالك؟
كويس كثير. وأنت؟
كتير.
كثير. Yeah. ازيك أنت? That's what they say in Egypt. ازيك أنت?
كي داير انت؟
Yeah.
لاباس الحمد لله.
Yeah. شكرا جزيلا يا باشا.
لا شكر على واجب.
كله تمام، كله كويس يعني.
كويس.
كله تمام. You know, if you go to an Egyptian's house and you eat something and if the food is delicious, I think they say tamam tamam. Like, how was the food? It was
تمام تمام.
tamam tamam. Yeah.
كويس.
كويس. لذيذ يعني لذيذ.
I don't understand any word.
We're speaking Arabic, Liliana, just basic Arabic.
Yeah, I know that's Arabic, but I know Arabic.
Thank you.
Yeah. يعني every time. Yesterday I went to the sidewalk and they told me about يعني that's how they talk.
Thank you brother.
Thank you brother يعني.
Yeah.
Brother يا أخي you are the bestest person في كل مكان يعني. You are. Yeah.
So if I speak with you in Spanish, you understood? You can understand everything?
I think so. I think I can understand most everything in Spanish. I just, depending on the accent, if it's an Argentinian accent, I will have a hard time. But I think from Mexico all the way to Central America, and also Colombia, Peru, because my friends are from Peru. A lot of them are from Peru, so I speak with them in Spanish.
I just know 2 words from Colombia.
What?
Like mamon and chévere.
And what is the other?
Chévere.
Chévere. I don't know what that means.
Bacano.
Bacano.
That's cool.
Bacano is, especially in Medellin, they use this word. Here in Bogota, we always say chévere, and paisas say more bacano.
That's awesome. I know there's so much culture in Central America, Latin America in general, just among the different countries, right? And usually when we learn Spanish in the U.S., we learn a very diluted version. We learn like Mexican Spanish, or we don't investigate the differences between all the different types of Spanish. We just learn the basic kind of normal conversational Spanish, I think with a focus on Mexico.
And which accent do you like? Castilian Spanish or Latin Spanish?
No, I don't like Castellano at all. I love Latin Spanish. I love the Spanish that's spoken in Latin America. Yeah, Castellano is they think of themselves, I think, too highly sometimes. It's a little elite. It's a little too elitist for me.
Than Latins.
Yeah, they speak faster. I like the relaxed version of all languages, you know. Even with like Bengali, my family, I understand Bengali completely, but people in India speak Bengali much more formally. They're not as relaxed as people in Bangladesh. So I like the more relaxed version. I'm more comfortable with that. You know?
Yes, it's easier to learn.
Yeah.
And to listen to when there's a neutral accent.
Absolutely. Marcelo, tudo beleza?
Tudo beleza, professor.
How's everything going?
Things are going well.
Great.
What about you?
Things are good. Very good here.
Great.
Yeah. We were talking about different countries and different accents in different countries.
When I'm gonna see you here?
In Brazil?
Yeah.
I don't know, unfortunately. But you know, I'm going crazy about Brazil. Okay, today and yesterday I was watching all these videos from Porta dos Fundos. This group, I think, in Brazil on YouTube. If you guys want to look them up later, I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, but Por todos fundos is how I pronounce it in my Spanish accent.
Yeah.
And they're very funny. Some of their videos have subtitles, others don't. But it's an amazing commentary on Brazilian society. I think the young people are making these videos, and it's really exciting to watch how Brazil is getting ready to host the world, in the next year and 2 years from
The
now.
World Cup, yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be really fun. And today I actually signed on an online course to learn about the history and culture of Brazil.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm getting crazy. Maybe I'll just when I get crazy about a country, I usually visit like within a year of becoming crazy.
Great.
Yeah,
I hope to see you.
Absolutely. No, I love the culture, honestly. Like, but when I became crazy with the culture of Iran, I started learning that language, and actually was able to finish learning it. And now maybe Portuguese is my next
Language.
yeah, my next language. Yeah, we'll see.
Portuguese is beautiful. I love Portuguese.
I really like the sound.
Uh-huh.
It's difficult to pronounce, but I think once you learn the sound of the language, it's very beautiful.
Yes.
Pronounce difficult.
Hey, Liliana, how's it going?
Hi, Farhan. All is good. And how are things on your side?
Things are good. Things are good. It was a nice day today. I was just working, relaxing, pretty fun.
Nice. Are you now in Wisconsin?
Yeah. Back to Wisconsin. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Nice. And how many classes are you teaching now?
So
Per day?
today I taught 4 classes. So this is my third one. I'll teach another one at 4 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Liliana, I was actually going to ask you. There were a bunch of folks. I think Murad, you were also in the class in that homophone homonym class.
Yes.
I made a cheat sheet. I made like a document that I think summarizes the main ideas from that lesson. So if you guys want, you can send me your email addresses and I can email them to you. If you want. I mean, I know people sometimes don't want their email addresses to go out, but
Are you in Facebook?
yeah, I'm on Facebook as well. Yeah.
Okay, I added you in Facebook.
Okay.
For you in Facebook, and I added. I will add you.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, it's just my first name, last name.